We would prefer to not have kids on the continuum of risk, if at all possible. But we recognize that's not possible because kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things. I started saying that, we wish, at least from the FDA's perspective, that kids were not entering into the continuum of harm, but once they're there, how do we care for them? And, our messaging is prevention based. And so we're trying, we certainly acknowledge that teens are teens and that they are experimenters. If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful. But vaping alone, especially if you've never been a cigarette user, vaping alone is not benign. And so we try to give them that frame of reference. And what I would say is kids are incredibly smart. I'm sure both of these gentlemen, I'm sure, see that. And they have a crap detector a mile wide. Like if we were to message proactively to teens that vaping is not as harmful as smoking, there are people on both sides of that argument, right? Mm-hmm. One is you could be just give them the facts and let them make the decisions. The other side of the argument is then you're getting rid of all the protective factors and you're kind of giving them license to use. And so, we have not tried to tackle that directly in any of our proactive messaging. But when we get questions specifically in social or direct message, that's when we have that one-on-one dialogue.
Right.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science. What about?
Well, hello. And how the hell is everyone doing tonight? I see some of the normal people in here. Toasty, Cheesy, and Steve's Vapes, and Raj, and Mallory, and Homicidal. And yes, Steve, YouTube took down last week's video because apparently the Australian news agency or news channel that made their lying documentary or lying story about our 30-minute paid piece by American Cancer or, Parents Against Vaping or, a campaign to lie to kids. Apparently didn't like us pointing out all of the lies on their show, so they hit us with they blocked it. But what's funny is I don't have an actual copyright strike. It just says that the video has been blocked. So I guess we'll just see. I'll just whatever. But hey, at least I have a video of an FDA employee admitting that vaping is safer than smoking. Actually, 2 video pieces because I also have Mitch Zeller saying the same damn thing. So we got Kathleen and Mitch both telling the truth. But anyway, Kevin is in the back room. I'm gonna have to figure out I'm gonna make intro videos for Kevin when Kevin comes out, I can play like the WWE wrestlers. They have like intro music and that's what we're gonna get one for Kevin. So when he comes out, he can roar and spew beer into the air like the one wrestler used to do and whatever. But here's Kevin.
Let's get ready to vape.
Are you ready?
You know what I appreciate, Patrick, is our girlfriend there, Kathleen. Is that her name? Kathleen? I
think it's Kathleen.
Kathleen Clusterfuck. How she can lie en masse, but individually, we're not going to do that. That's all. No, I love a reminder of that every so often.
We're not going to tell the truth because kids have a lie detector a mile wide, right? And they're experimenters. They're experimenters, and we know that. So, we're just gonna whatever.
Hey,
So what the hell have you been doing this week, Kevy Wevy?
I got my underwear repair kit for Father's Day.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
Nice.
That's
So you can keep wearing your holy underwear.
Oh yeah. You didn't say inside. Wait a minute. It's got a manual.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got all the necessities that you need to keep your underwear fresh.
Is there duct tape in there?
No. You gotta supply your own.
Yeah. You gotta get duct tape.
Yeah, well.
If you can't fix it, duck it.
That's right.
Duck it. So I tweeted something a while back, Kev.
No.
Saying how hard it is for me to believe that all these people are trying to defend cigarettes. I can't remember. I got to go find the actual tweet here. I got to go to my profile.
You have to keep them safe.
Look it up here because somebody replied to it. Like, it's a week-old tweet, and somebody, when people reply to like a week-old tweet, hey, did you see? Mike is in the chat room. So here I'm gonna present early. I'm gonna present this tweet early. And it says here, it's unthinkable that so many people still die from smoking related deaths, especially when there's a way for people to get safer nicotine. Nicotine doesn't kill people. Vaping, snus, and many other oral nicotine products are available, and FDA tobacco stands in the way. Why? Well, this was tweeted on May 20th. So this is a fairly old tweet. And then this week, this guy, Jake decides to hit us with a story, a very sad story about a 15-year-old boy who died of a lung issue. Hypoxia is all the news story says. Hypoxia is just a lack of oxygen. And it could be caused by many things, but the mother is really upset. The mother is sad because she found out that he was vaping, and it must be vaping that caused it. And like I said, I feel this is a tragedy. I'm not gonna lie. Mamas don't want their babies to die. We get it. Wilmington stepmother plans to raise awareness of vaping dangers following son's death. And this was published on June 17th. 15-year-old Solomon Wynn died less than 3 weeks after his birthday. On Saturday, June 17th, 15-year-old Solomon Wynn died less than 3 weeks after his birthday. Solomon's former stepmother, Charlene Zorn, says while hypoxia is listed as his cause of death, she believes his true cause. Solomon started as early as the 7th grade. Zorn said it's just a few months. Solomon's health had declined drastically. This is a child that last football season played football, and last week he couldn't walk 5 minutes. He was that week that he wasn't able to walk for 5 solid minutes, all from vaping. There has to be something done legally to stop this, to make this stop. Solomon's older brother, Alfred, said he used a vape while he was at high school. He says the number of teens vaping in school is shocking. I just don't understand why it seeped so deep into the schools, into youth. Wynn said it's so bad. I'm really at a loss for words for that. It's so surreal knowing that your brother is gone because of that. Solomon's former stepsister, Doria, has a degree in health sciences and even took a class which looked at the impact of vaping in the youth population. As she prepares to start school for her master's, Solomon's death will be an important moment she plans to share with other people. Now, not to minimize this story, but are you telling me that Doria just got a degree in health sciences, a bachelor degree apparently, because she said she's going on to get her master's, and they already have an entire class, a college class about vaping and the impact of vaping? But apparently, Kevin, you ask anybody, we don't know.
I don't know anything.
We don't know what the long-term effects are, but yet they already have a college class to indoctrinate the next generation of healthcare providers.
I want to correct you. We just don't know enough is the quote. We just don't know enough. That's always the quote.
But they already have a curriculum that they teach college kids getting a health degree about the dangers and the impact of vaping. Yet you ask any expert, we just don't know.
Selective reasoning. Is that the term?
Didn't we read a story last week about a college in Australia trying to get grant money to do a study on the impact of vaping? Because according to the college professor, the PhD, we just don't know what the impact of secondhand vaping is. I mean, that's what the story was last week.
Well,
so again,
Patrick, I have no education. I barely get out of high school.
Of hard knocks.
Barely get out of high school. And when I can sit in my, whatever the armchair warrior thing is, and I can outsmart most of the people that have degrees, 10-fold higher than I could ever achieve, allegedly, then, you ain't looking in the right place, fucktards. So there you go. Yeah.
I mean, again, I know that this stepmother, and her child, who is the ex-stepsister of this boy, are very, 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 very sad that this child died. And it is a sad thing when a child dies. But to turn around and go on, I've seen several copies of this story. I actually have another one over here where she talks about having to hit the plug, but it's the same, and it's just, how it's only been a little while, and you're already trying to get your name in the news. I hate to make the suggestion that this woman is trying to get attention, because this is the ex-wife of the daddy of the boy. This is the ex-stepmom, former stepmother. See? So I'm not suggesting that this woman is trying to profit from this tragedy, but she seems to be trying to get attention, and she's the ex-stepmom. And again, she's expressing an opinion, which she is free to have, because we are a free country, and she has the opinion that vaping may have caused his hypoxia, but it could easily be any number of other things. And she's spouting this like she's some sort of expert, and it's vaping that did it. And of course, no child should be vaping, but I've been vaping for 12 years, guys, and I've been following this for a long time. And I have never seen a story of some 15-year-old kid dying for vaping for just a few days of hypoxia.
No.
We've been covering stories about pneumothoraxes recently, and we can scientifically address that, which we have. But this is so vague. But somebody, again, decided to comment. Jake, I'm sorry, Jake, but Jake decided to post this without comment, so that I said, yes, tragedy. But just because a mother in pain says her child died of vaping does not make it so.
No.
There is no science pointing at what caused this boy's hypoxia. These products have been on the market for 12 years. Not one case of vaping-related hypoxia, period. So any number of... I thought I was presenting my screen. After I've already read the tweet, I will still throw it up here.
It dropped.
Yeah. So Jake decided to reply to a month-old tweet.
Well,
32-day-old tweet with this story.
Well,
so Jake is, I don't know what Jake is trying to do here, but again, like I said, 12 years, not one single case. I don't know. I don't get it.
Ignorance is bliss, and ignorance is an excuse. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's dumbfounding to me that somebody would try to, again, and I'm not saying that the mom is doing that 100%, but it does seem weird to me that the ex-stepmother of this child and his ex-stepsister, not, again, they might have been really close.
Yeah.
Are suddenly trying to get some sort of attention on their ex-stepbrother and, fabricating stories about vaping. Again, vaping might be a trend in kids. I don't go to school. I don't have any kids, so I don't know, but it seems odd to me. And of course, kids are doing it in school. I'm not going to debate that.
Yeah.
I mean, if kids weren't doing it in school, we wouldn't have so many stories of schools taking bathroom doors off of the stalls and kids schools putting spy devices in the bathroom to catch the kids, and schools locking bathroom doors so kids can't have free access to bathrooms. If kids weren't doing it, we wouldn't have those stories to tell everybody.
No.
But yeah, I just figured I would go ahead and address that one because I did not put it in the show notes because I just wanted to, but again, we're going to see a wave of every little thing that happens to a kid being blamed on vaping.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's how they're going to play it. They're going to say every little, my kid was born with rickets. It was because I was vaping when he was in the womb, or my kid turned into a ginger. It's because he was vaping.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's how you're programmed. Yeah.
Nicotine causes gingers.
Well, that can't be true. Mom didn't smoke.
But maybe you weren't born a ginger, but after you started smoking at 6, you turned into a ginger.
9. You see Fig just sneaking in here.
I did.
Mike and Rogge.
I was in the middle of saying my piece about this news story.
Addie, and, Steve, and
yeah. But hey, we got I think that's our second blocked show in the entire in the history of our YouTube presence here, Kevin. We got blocked, and I still haven't been able to finish setting up the Rumble presence. Our Rumble channel has to be created before we can stream there. And I'm only I've been busy all week, and I haven't had a chance to go over there and put all the bells and whistles and the graphics up. And that, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it up. I'm going to make it right. And just haven't had a chance. Did you see the Thunder from Down Under just decided to chat too?
What? Bruni.
Yeah.
Jimmy James.
Jimmy James, 1976. He just showed up. He's 4 years younger than me, and probably about 20 years younger than you.
Well, there you go. There you go. We were talking about music earlier. Who originally did Smoking in a Boys' Room? Quicker. Now.
What?
Brownsville, Smoking in a Boys' Room. Who did
Brownsville Station?
There you go. Okay.
Smoking in the Boys' Room.
You had me.
Well, the Motley Crue version is the best version of that song.
It is the best version, absolutely.
Yeah. That's definitely, unless there's a new version, but if they did a new version, it would not be about smoking cigarettes. It would be about smoking something else.
And I want to let all of our friends know that you were listening to what I thought was the Brady Bunch when we got here.
That was Steelers Wheels, my friend. I'm sorry that you have horrible taste in music.
It sounded like the Brady Bunch.
It was Steelers Wheels.
I know. Jokers to the left of me. Yeah.
All right.
Clowns,
let's see.
Clowns to the left of me.
Now, Kevin, I'm out of touch because I don't have kids. I know that. There's a couple people. There might be a couple people in the chat room that are, have teenagers. Fig has a teenage son, little August. He's a teenager still, I think. Well, I mean, compared to me, he's little. I mean, I'm a big guy. But I mean, are kids actually watching like medical dramas on TV, like Grey's Anatomy?
No. So
Are kids actually watching that? I for the life of me, I can't think. I mean, I have a short attention span, and there's no freaking way I could sit still and watch that crap. Oh shit,
no.
Augie's 6'4". Well, maybe he's bigger than me.
Well,
I'm only 6 foot, but I'm wider than he is, I'm sure.
Fig's like 94. He's gonna have somebody hold him up now.
Well, if he's 94, he still has more hair than you.
He's got a lot better looking hair than me.
I mean, I don't know. He might have pulled it out by now. I mean, he started a whole new business and had all that stress. They could have all fallen out by now. But
6'4".
yeah, let's see. Let's talk about this. Now we did talk about like them using like TV shows and inserting like
Lies,
like morals, like the moral of the story. Like G.I. Joe, knowing is half. You remember when we were well, I don't know. When I was a kid, there was a cartoon called G.I. Joe, and they always had to have a little cutaway where they told kids a moral dilemma and taught them something about being good boys and girls. But this story is sort of kind of an echo of last week, but this one is using, and this is from Watauga, which is a place I'm very familiar with because this is the only place in the United States where we actually got a city to change a law that they had just passed about vaping. Watauga, Texas. They banned all vape shops in the city and refused to issue tobacco retail licenses to, like they said, if you have a store in town, you must move your store by the end of the year. And from this point on, there will never be a vape shop in town ever again. And a week later, they went back up and they said, okay, we listened to you and, we've taken your testimony and we've changed our mind. And we are now repealing that law that we just passed last week. But anyway, using Grey's Anatomy to warn teens away from vaping. So it says here, this is Monday. Could popular TV dramas jumpstart a discussion about vaping among teens and almost teens? A recent experiment using clips from Grey's Anatomy, New Amsterdam, and Chicago Med. All three of these are like adult medical dramas. Like I've never seen any of these, but I know what they are. Suggest the answer is yes. Watching the clips appeared to help kids open up and talk about the health impacts of using electronic cigarettes. Along the way, researchers learned more about the terminology kids do and don't understand when it comes to e-cigarettes and how they feel about being targets of marketing. Now, they're upset about being targets of marketing, but they're using these medical dramas to market misinformation to those kids that don't like to be misinformed.
Because they're pretty smart.
Yes, they got a bullshit detector a mile wide, right?
Supposedly, according to Kathleen. We don't know. We don't want to lie to them individually, but boy, we will in mass.
Yeah, we're going to lie to them all. We only believe in mass brainwashing, Kevin, not... Well, if we had to brainwash individually one at a time,
it's much more effective that way.
That would take forever.
Double plus good.
That would take forever. So, yeah. Okay, so this, what?
Well, they're not tackling opioids or alcohol abuse or any of the actual things that are really harming children and adults, for that matter. They're going to take a 10 o'clock show and talk about vaping.
Well, yeah, and the kids are, well, again, I mean, if they were going to like attack this head on, they would put it on some teen drama. I don't know what the current teen dramas are, 90210 or Buffy the Vampire, whatever it is,
And then when they did this, now there's some smart people in the room smarter than both of us. What is the impact of using these stories? And I'm assuming these are all prime time, yes?
Yes.
Like Grey's Anatomy or whatever. So
yeah. I didn't even
how
know
many-
Grey's Anatomy was still on, to tell you the truth.
I'm not a marketing expert, but how many kids up at 10 o'clock at night, let's say on Tuesday night or whatever the fuck these shows are fucking allegedly produced on, are going to be their target audience? 0? Or the one forced to be with their mom because they were caught vaping earlier in the day and they have to sit on the couch and watch TV with mom. So their target audience was never going to be the child to begin with. So they're bullshitting within the bullshitting, and then the storyline itself.
So I'm currently distracting for a minute because I'm looking at something that Fig typed, and I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this.
What is that? What does that mean?
The Digital Services Act is EU regulation. Is a regulation in EU law to update the Electronic Commerce Directive 2000 regarding illegal content, transparent advertising, and disinformation. It was submitted along with the Digital Markets Act by the European Commission to the European Parliament and the Council in 2020. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see what it says. The objectives of the DSA. Proposed a new Digital Service Act in her 2019 bid for European Commission's presidency. The express purpose of the DSA is to update the European Union's legal framework for illegal content on intermediaries, in particular by modernizing the e-commerce directive adopted in 2000. In doing so, the DSA aims to harmonize different national laws in the EU that have emerged at national level to address illegal content. Most prominent amongst these laws has been the German NetzDG, a similar law in Austria, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, and France, the Loi Avia, declared unconstitutional by the Constitutional Council with the adopted by blah, blah, blah. It will mean new legislation regarding illegal content and transparent disinformation. I'm still trying to figure out what the nuts and bolts of this are. There just needs to be like a, hey, dummy, this is what this means.
So you can't lie.
It could be.
Maybe not.
It might be. Or it could be one of those things where we decide what's the truth and you can't spread your misinformation here, buddy.
Does that mean all the liars of public health are under arrest? You know? Who knows?
No, Fig says he sent me something. Let me go over here and see what Fig sent me because I want to see what this. I absolutely do not know anything about this, and since Fig brought it up, I figured we would share it because Fig is usually pretty smart. Sometimes
Smarticles.
Sometimes. Let's see. So this is Linda Yaccarino. She's a Penn State liar. I think we've done something about Linda in the past, I believe. Today's in-depth meeting reflects how important the DSA is for Twitter. Tomorrow, Elon Musk and I meet with Thierry Breton to discuss how we build upon our strong relationship with the EU. Stay tuned. And then Fig says, none of that matters so long as America's health experts are running rampant roughshod over the truth with their continued and perpetual onslaught of disinformation. And then he put oh, yes, I saw this John Hopkins tweet about inhaling oily substances like e-liquid.
Well, it's always good to inhale the oily substance.
Inhaling oily substances like e-liquid can lead to a rare type of pneumonia. Lipid pneumonia, by the way. Find out what other lung diseases are associated with vaping. Well, I can tell you that lipoid pneumonia is not associated with vaping nicotine e-liquids. And then everybody, I remembered it, yes. John Jonathan slams them. I mean,
Yeah.
this article reads like a public confession that Johns Hopkins is at least 4 years behind the science, doesn't understand the difference between nicotine and vaping, nor between vaping nicotine and vaping THC, and is happy spreading misinformation. Shocking. See, we got smart friends.
Well, yeah, I'm on the fence with him, but that's all right.
Sometimes he says smart things, though, Kevin.
Well, it isn't that he doesn't say things I like or don't like. It's that sometimes he's the on the fence guy. I kind of, but I don't, he's a loosely.
Though, Kevin, if what he says is the truth, whether we like it or not, this is the same situation when Farsalinos puts out something about e-liquid that we should want to know about, and then everybody throws a fit because he said something bad about their cinnamon e-liquid.
That's correct. But he's on the fence. He's been on the fence for a while. That's all.
But this particular thing that came out of his mouth is good, or come out of his fingers, because he didn't say it out loud. Correct. He typed it.
Okay, then I'll like him for you right now.
Just for the time being. So, yes, I mean, obviously we've talked about this 100 times. There is no essential oils. There is no vitamin E acetate or oil-based stuff in water-soluble e-liquid. Can't happen. Oil and water do not mix. And PG, VG, and the flavorings that we use in our e-liquid are water-soluble.
It's not. I looked. Let me check again.
Otherwise, all of this e-liquid that I mixed up would be separating.
And then you'll be on the news, and then your wife will be bitching.
You gotta keep it separated.
Or you'll be dead, and she'll probably, maybe she would celebrate. I don't know.
It could be. It could be.
Know. As long as your insurance is paid up,
Oh my, yeah. I have a $250,000 life insurance policy, so she'll be taken care of.
Oh no, I'm nowhere near that.
I told her, I said, don't spend any money on the funeral. Just put me in a glad bag and throw me in the backyard in a.
Janice can have a little bit of fun, but not that much damn fun. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yep. All right, let's see. The woman Vakarian that I just showed. Are you paying attention to the show at all? What are you doing? Are you trimming your nails?
No. Well, I'm playing with my little clipper thing.
Somebody suggested that Steve says, does he hear nail clippers?
It's probably that. That sounds like
I think you're over there like giving yourself a mini.
No, I'm cleaning my desk.
I don't believe you could do a pedi because your foot
is not in your feet anyway. I'm too old.
You got to go to the podiatrist for that. Because I'm hoping your wife won't touch your nasty feet.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
See? That's why I got to clean my desk.
I hate this damn website, but it always does this with the fucking ads. All right. I need to get a proper ad blocker, but I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it right now. I'm always afraid that the ad blockers are actually trackers.
Yeah.
So this is from The Guardian. And it says, lobbyists with links to big tobacco fund pro-vaping Facebook campaigns.
Oh, good.
Now, I don't know how this works because every time Casat has ever tried to boost a post on Facebook, they get denied. So how could there be any reason to fund a pro-vaping Facebook campaign? Because
there is no reason.
Right. Secretive lobby groups are spreading pro e-cigarette messages purporting to be grassroots campaigns. No. This is in England. No. And this is by Shanti Das and John Ungoed Thomas. Maybe
they get away with it over there.
Yeah. So
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. A series of grassroots campaigns telling UK e-cigarette users they are under attack and urging them to stand up for their rights by opposing new vaping regulations are being run by secretive Facebook groups with links to big tobacco.
No.
You fuckers, look at this. I'll do it later. At least it gave me the option to do it later, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these are not giving me that option. The campaigns pushed to millions of Facebook and Twitter users in the last few weeks have names like hashtag back vaping, save lives, and save my vape, and are styled to look like they are coordinated by members of the public, but in reality, they are run and promoted by right-wing think tanks and lobbyists that oppose stricter regulation and want to influence government policy.
Huh.
Why are they always going after the right-wing think tanks, Kevin?
Huh. Well, because they don't think? I don't know.
They include a movement called We Vape UK, which claims to be run by an independent organization for vapors by vapors, but was set up by a fellow at the Adam Smith Institute, a free market lobby group that does not disclose its funders and has long-running ties to the tobacco industry. Posts from We Vape UK's hashtag Back Vaping Saves Lives campaign appear to glamorize vaping. They include a video of a young woman vaping on a night out, posts promoting flavored and disposable vapes, and pictures of celebrities using e-cigarettes. Other posts encourage people to fill out a form that sends a letter to their local MP. The prepared letter is signed with the person's name and urges the MP to stand up for me and my many thousands of people who vape in your constituency by opposing policies to regulate vaping.
Yeah.
Two further campaigns, Say No to WHO and Save My Vape, are linked to Global Britain Limited, an anti-EU pressure group run by Brian Monteith, a PR consultant and former Brexit Party politician who is described by Bath University. Oh, Bath University. You know, they're assholes. Tobacco Tactics Research Unit as veteran campaigner against tobacco control. In the past 3 months alone, Say No to WHO has paid for 12 ads on Facebook, which has shown to around 2.4 million people in the UK. So that's not fair.
Yeah.
I wonder, does the Bath University's Tobacco Tactics Research Unit have a dossier on us, Kevin?
Well, if you go to, I don't for sure know, Phil will tag us, or Juka, if he's listening, their funding is Bloomberg, I think.
Well, I know Bath University is. Yeah, we've probably covered it twice at least.
But they don't like it if someone is funded by the tobacco industry, or they infer, or whatever the word is. Then when their nonprofit political front groups are funded by somebody, they don't mention that either.
Yeah.
So they're not allowed to say. They're not allowed to say. If I remember, this memo said something like, "Don't say that you're funded by Bloomberg," if I remember correctly. But yeah.
The ad attacks the World Health Organization, which has been vocal about the health risks of e-cigarettes, and accuse it of trying to interfere with UK policy, painting it as a shady organization controlled by nefarious global forces. That is the truth. I should
now,
put
let me
that
ask
on
you a question.
I should tattoo that.
Other than well, that threw me off a little. Other than what I've seen, I was in Lexington at the vape convention, if you will, 4 or 5 years ago. It's the only one I went to. It's the only one I will. I didn't see a whole lot of glamorization of anything.
I don't imagine there's going to be very many vape conventions unless it's a
Probably
pot
not.
vape convention, because I know that the World Cup, or was it called not World Cup, the pot cup, whatever it's called, is happening pretty quick if it's not happening right now. I do know that they just announced that they selected their judges for their pot smoking competition.
Right. Is Clinton good? No. So
the best pot competition.
If and I know that you folks in the room will correct me if I'm wrong. There were some, semi-nude ladies and maybe a little frivolity, but There wasn't any glamorization.
Oh no, but I mean, back in the day, there was stripper poles at booths.
Oh, see, I didn't.
They had booth babes walking around with like their,
right
drawers
well, you gotta advertise
up their crack, and one guy, Lonnie Bozeman admits that he paid like for midgets to come to little people to come and hang out at the booth and be clown around and stuff. So yeah, I mean there was some nonsensical stuff that did happen. We can't deny that did occur.
But glamour.
I love this quote, Kate. I love this quote right here that I got. It says the UK, you could put the US, you could put any nation, any nationality in there, must stand up for our sovereignty, protect the rights for smokers to choose less harmful alternatives, and make it clear to the WHO that UK laws are decided by us. So this, obviously when Bloomberg hires, pays the Department of Health or the Mexican version of the FDA, whatever, they're called, he paid for one of his employees to have an office in their offices. He paid for a desk and paid for the right to review all of their health related regulations.
Just to be sure.
New ones. I mean, we've already proven this. We know this happened, and we know that it's happening in countries all over the world.
It's for your own good, Patrick.
You can buy off these people. But anyway, another says, "Who are the men in dark suits trying to control your lives?" Hashtag say no to WHO. Others feature devils, top secret files, and show the WH logo on puppet strings controlled by China and Russia. China.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's right up here. It's right here. See? China.
No, that's not the same one I think of. No, all right.
Now, if I say it like that too many times, that YouTube might actually strike me just for saying China. Like,
my tail will pop
like
out.
The orangutan in chief. The WHO describes the post as misinformation. Dr. Vinayak Prasad, head of its no tobacco unit, said the WHO's tobacco and e-cigarette regulations are based on the best scientific evidence available that says what we want it to.
That's right.
Which showed they are. Oh, yes. So it's based on the best scientific evidence available, which showed they were harmful to health. So they're picking.
Stick to the script, you fuck.
The tobacco industry markets these products just as they marketed traditional tobacco products. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, I have a video clip to play here if I can get my mouse back to where it needs to go, because my mouse sometimes forgets where it's at. But here.
It's a trap. It actually is a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's actually a trap. It's a trap.
Stick to the script. You motherfuckers.
Kevin, did you just try to do a foreign accent there that would have been construed as insensitive?
I don't know how to do Tedros's accent, so I'm using whatever I can.
Listen to it again.
It's a trap. It actually is a trap. It's a trap.
It actually is a trap.
Stick to the script. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I'm not an imitator.
Misleading the public about the associated risks and preying on children and adolescents, he said. Save My Vape says in ads that it is run by a community of ex-smokers and encourages people to sign up to defend their rights. We don't believe that the government or media has no right to tell us what we can't vape, one post says. And then there it is. And then there's the da-da-da. While the link to the Global Britain is mentioned in the Facebook pages for the campaigns of if users decide to click through, it is not immediately clear from the ads themselves. The fake grassroots movement known as AstroTurf. Now, this is what they called CASA. This is what they called us multiple times over the years.
Bots.
that we were
got my
bots,
son
that we
there.
were paid shills. This is the same tactics that they used here in the States against us. Now they're using these same tactics for our friends in the UK. But again, they're called the fake grassroots movements known as AstroTurf campaigns have been described by transparency advocates and health experts as a backdoor route into influencing opinion and a deliberate effort to sabotage public health policy. You know, Kevin is a robot. You know that, right? Because a study said so.
Fine.
Yeah.
Still got
The campaigns appear to have been set up in 2021, but have ramped up their posts and ads in recent weeks amid pressure in the UK government to do more to tackle underage vaping and ahead of the WHO COP10 summit in tobacco control in November. Martin McKee, president of the British American Association and professor.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I got to start over. Martin McKee, president of the British Medical Association, professor of European Public Health at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, said the campaigns appeared to be an attempt to undermine public health by organizations that conceal their funding and present themselves as the voice of ordinary people. Ordinary people got to have money to do this shit. It doesn't matter, you know. The government needs to get serious about tackling these abuses and make it much easier to discover who is paying whom to damage the health of the British public. Phil Chamberlain, deputy director of Tobacco Control Research Group at the University of Bath, said the campaigns were an opaque attempt to shape public opinion by lobbyists whose views echoed those of the industry. Trying to paint themselves as representing grassroots vapors is highly dubious, he said. It looks like a vehicle to try and undermine public health policy in the area. The Adam Smith Institute, We Vape UK, and Global Britain did not respond to requests for comment from the Observer. However, the Adam Smith Institute, which has recently ranked as at least one of the least transparent think tanks in the UK, has previously confirmed it has received donations from tobacco companies, saying in 2013 that this was accounted for around 3% of its income. More recently, it has accepted sponsorship from companies such as JTI, which is Japan Tobacco International, which owns tobacco brands including Benson & Hedges, Camel, and Amber Leaf, and is increasing its investment in e-cigarettes. JTI said it worked with a number of think tanks, which it said played an important role in informing regulation, but did not have any direct links to any of the campaigns. We do provide donations to a number of think tanks, but we do not disclose details of our financial support, a spokesperson said. Addy, tropical medicine is actually a very complex. I mean, if you have your certification in tropical medicine, it's obscure health issues. It's not just diseases from the tropics. It's actually quite prestigious. Not giving this asshole any sort of pat on the back, but it is a big deal. But why are you laughing? I'm trying to help
I'm just thinking,
inform our people.
Wear your sunscreen. He's a sunscreen expert.
No. So this is quite long, but the links to this are in the show notes, and you guys can read the rest. But yes, this is the same type of bullshit that they attacked us with. Over the years, we've been called AstroTurf multiple times. Kevin has been called a bot in at least 3 different or 4 different studies. Obviously, people, even our own community, has attacked me and Phil for being big tobacco stooges. So this is quite insulting, and not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, Kev.
Mickey. Like Simon Cowell. Same crowd, Eddie.
Simon Cowell? What are you talking about?
I think it was Simon Cowell. I don't know. It looked like Cowell. I can't remember. I
Isn't
can't find
he the
it.
guy that sound like a what's it called? American Idol? Isn't that Simon Cowell?
Something. Simon something. Simon Doofus. Not the Chimpman.
Not Simon Chapman.
No, it's a Simon something. Capewell. I was trying to find the meme I had on those shitheads, but all the same.
Yeah.
All the same. They
I
don't
like
know
it when
anything.
people
though.
say thank you to me. It feels good. Addie said thank you twice.
Yeah.
I sort of
Yeah.
I get a little bit of happy juice in my brain when people say nice things. Thank you, Addie.
Dopamine?
It could be.
Oh, well, there you go.
Speaking of brain stuff, Kevin.
Yeah.
Helen Redmond this week
Gray matter.
did a piece for Filter Magazine, which is near and dear to a topic that we've covered quite significantly on this show. This is a topic that we are well versed in, and we have tons and tons of content about this. But Filter Magazine is highlighting this week. Helen Redmond is highlighting this week a documentary called Switch, and it's a documentary about schizophrenia and vaping. Does anyone care that people with schizophrenia spectrum disorders have devastatingly high rates of smoking? And we know 40% of all cigarettes sold are sold to the neurodiverse, mentally ill. Research has found the prevalence to be at least 2 to 3 times that in the general public, with rates in some study cohorts exceeding 80%. Estimates are even higher than for people with other mental health diagnoses and other vulnerable populations. People with schizophrenia die not from schizophrenia, but from smoking. People with schizophrenia can improve their quality of life, and there is a solution. Dr. Pasquale Capinetto, a clinical psychologist at the University of Catania in Italy, told us in our new documentary. He and his colleagues have been conducting a groundbreaking study called the Genesis Trial, investigating the effectiveness of nicotine vapes as an intervention for people with schizophrenia. We want our documentary to be a catalyst for change. To make Switch, a documentary for smoking and schizophrenia, Marlena Marchetti and I traveled to Sicily to interview people involved in the study. So hopefully we don't get smashed. I hope Helen doesn't smash us, Kevin.
I hope not.
Because Helen's our friend. I hope she doesn't say bad things about us. But we're gonna play a second of this.
Okay.
If my computer will catch up to my brain, which is really sad because my computer is supposed to be way faster than my brain.
In Italy, smoking is considered a normal aspect of the life.
Now, did you see, if you scroll back here, Kevin, they're at an ice cream stand, a gelato stand.
Life.
Look at all those flavors. Look at that. They spell pistachio the same way as we spell pistachio.
I remember that people used for the first time the Juul electronic cigarettes. They were scared about the electronic cigarettes because considered not effective for smoking cessation.
Dr. Pasquale Capinetto, Center for Excellence for the Acceleration of Harm Reduction, University of Catania, Sicily. Troop, you do not know what a gelato is? Serious? Are you being serious?
Stop picking on Troop.
I'm trying to pause the video.
Yes.
So that they don't smack us again.
Yes.
But when tried at the first puff, the Juul, they said, "Wow,
wow,
that's
I can try."
Perfect.
And if it works,
right?
I mean, again, I have said many times that the company of Juul are assholes,
right?
But the product itself. Right. Has helped a lot of people. It also hurt a lot of other people that were already open vapors and they thought, oh, I'm going to try this thing. And then they got re-addicted to higher levels of nicotine than what they were used to.
And there was a change in their mind.
I'm Marilena Marchetti, and I interviewed the folks in this film.
Now, Kevin, this is this is something you should have some knowledge about, right?
All right.
I mean, personally, you have a connection to this, having a relative that's schizoaffective.
Yep.
And, the difficulty you've had switching him over to vaping versus cigarettes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm also someone who used to smoke, but now vapes instead. People with schizophrenia have the highest rates of smoking of any population and the lowest rates of quitting. This is true throughout the world, and this is why Dr. Caponetto is doing compassionate.
Did they go to the beach while I was at the beach?
Probably.
That looked like my belly bulge.
Cutting-edge research to determine if people with schizophrenia can benefit from a harm reduction approach to smoking cessation.
Io ho l'età di 13 anni, però ho smesso tante volte in vita mia. Ho staccato per 5 anni una volta, altri 4 anni un'altra. Non è stato un completo fumare. Sono stati interrotti dai miei stati d'animo.
See? It depended on how I was feeling. When I was sad, I smoked again and then stopped. Like he said that he smoked. There was a period of time where he didn't smoke. When he got stressed, felt depressed, started smoking again to get that protective situation going on.
Quando mi sono sentito di smettere, ho smesso, senza nessun bisogno di nicotino o altro.
Ne ho 48. Quando ho iniziato a fumare avevo 17 anni.
10 anni, però una. Festa. Che dopo mangiato, per dire, è meglio.
And I actually would still continue to enjoy a cigarette after a good meal.
Oh, God, yeah. Of course.
You go have a steak and a baked potato and a beer, and then when you get done...
Sketty. Yeah.
Oh, but you...
Still when I have pasta, I still want to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes about 3 seconds to take that edge off, but yeah, it's oh yeah. So yeah.
Dopo lava i denti, è un'abitudine così.
Più che altro per questo. Però mi crea quella, una volta che uno è viziata del fumo, si crea una certa poi dipendenza da cui tu non puoi uscirne fuori poi. No, perché ne ho avuti problemi di salute, magari tipo un po' il cuore.
So she said that she would smoke periodically, but then, she noticed she was having health problems. Then she became addicted and couldn't stop anymore.
Crea una certa poi dipendenza da cui tu non puoi uscirne fuori poi. No, perché ne ho avuti problemi di salute, magari tipo un po' il cuore, un po' che mi serviva qualcosa, però non era proprio consigliabile per forza dare. E quindi ho detto niente, sto morendo qua. E infatti hanno chiamato qualche volta l'ambulanza, dicevano niente che fare, e sono rimasta a casa un po' a letto.
No, da 24 anni in poi no.
So Marco says that he never tried to stop because he couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do it. So they're saying that the percentage of people with schizophrenia that use tobacco or smoke is 60 to 90%, but in the general population, it's only 23 to 30%. So up to 3 times as much.
Marcello, Salvatore, Sal, Elisa, and Marco live in a residential therapeutic community for people with schizophrenia spectrum disorders, where they're well cared for by social workers and nurses. As some of the volunteers in the so-called Genesis study, they've been given free Juul nicotine pods to see if they'll make the switch from regular cigarettes in order to reduce harm to their bodies and prevent premature death. Elenia Calcaterra is the executive director of the facility. She ensures residents have meaningful daily routines and activities to do, like gardening and cooking.
La mattina si alzano, si fanno le loro pulizie, si sistemano la loro
Well, this is just about their daily life, making sure that they're happy and they feel like they got something to do, gardening.
Something they do that America normally doesn't. There was a prison story the other day. They were selling vapes to the inmates, but they're humanizing an issue within an issue.
Right.
And they're allowing, obviously, them to smoke, it looks like, on property if they're residents. So that's a good thing. Which,
yeah, I mean, you can't, they said they were given the option of having jewel pods.
And you can rest assured, if you're in a United States establishment or facility, I don't know what the term is, you're not allowed to smoke on the property. So therefore you cannot smoke. And if you're in there for a mental health issue, that doesn't help you. So
True, because you put a question mark behind it. Troop says he doesn't know why I thought he didn't know what gelato was. He said I spelled it correctly. It's because you put the question mark, like gelato.
Yeah. I thought
because we were showing on the screen there were many flavors of gelato on the screen.
I thought it was
and
yogurt.
You said gelato. That's
patches, gum, or medication would be too high a bar for me. When nicotine is combusted, as in when smoking traditional cigarettes, toxins are produced that can cause serious bodily harm and death. Clean nicotine, that is not consumed through combustion, offers short-lasting, relatively harmless benefits. This is why Dr. Caponetto believes people with schizophrenia can live longer, healthier lives by switching to safer nicotine products like Juul.
Thank you very much. Grazie mille.
so people with schizophrenia die 15 to 20 years earlier than those in the general public, and it's often due to health conditions tied to smoking, COPD.
We enrolled 69 participants at our center. And in this study we compare two levels of nicotine, 5% nicotine or 1.5%. We think that people that will use the high level nicotine will show higher smoking cessation rates compared with the low level of nicotine.
Now there is, you and I don't know if Fig was here then or not, have discussed that particular truth several times. Even in the nicotine patch world, the studies show that the higher level nicotine patches are far more successful than the commercially available ones that you see on every shelf in the damn world, because for some reason they decided 15 or 16% nicotine was all you needed. But we know that the 32 and the 48 are way more successful. But you have to order those from China.
Imagine how that works, though, Patrick. So you and I are going to try to help people quit smoking, right? So we develop a patch, and we say, well, let's not give them a whole bunch to actually make it work, so they think they have.
No, let's make them use too many. Let's make them use two patches every time instead of one.
But let's allude to the fact that it will work if you try hard enough, but we're not going to give them enough tool.
But we're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you that this 16 milligram patch isn't going to work unless you put two of them on.
No. Well, you can mow the lawn. You've got clippers there, son. Scissors rather than a lawn mower / whatever. Yeah, you don't do that. And that study that I blogged about was nicotine strengths. Higher nicotine strengths are safe. Dual use is encouraged encouraged, period. So, yeah.
So, yeah.
Low level of nicotine.
That's actually true, though, Fig.
Yeah.
We've covered, yeah. We did 2 very wonderful shows last year during the Scope with our very good friends Richard Pruin and Skip Murray, who have mental health diagnoses. I have some diagnoses, and we know that, you know, even you with PTSD, we know that the vast 40% of all cigarettes, yes, sold in America are sold to neurodivergent people.
So, Patrick, my
and
question
I'm sure that Kev has something wrong, but he just hasn't been diagnosed yet.
I don't like doctors. My question to that end is, who's targeting who? When you have people who allegedly don't know anything, but they know better, and then they tell the vulnerable people, like the folks that they're showing here, among others, that, well, you just have to quit and you're not trying hard enough. And the psyche and the mentality of that just drives me insane. It drives me nuts to manipulate them. That's all. My son, as an example, he's still struggling, but he's liking it because he's finding a little more freedom when he can game and do his thing. But he still wants the cigarettes. And if the other chemicals aren't discussed in this context that are in cigarettes to help those people who smoke for that, then a lot of context is lost within it to help someone quit smoking. Yes, but what are the chemicals in the cigarettes that are doing to my son, as the example, that help him, and what is he losing by not smoking? And what am I telling him to say, you have to quit because it's no good for you? And then he quits and he becomes worse because those other chemicals that are in there are fucking helping him. And that's why, what did you say, 70%, 80%, whatever it is, of the people with these issues smoke?
Oh, well, specifically schizoaffective or schizophrenia. Yeah. So let's see. What does it say?
It's just a big roundabout way for me to apologize for going in a rabbit hole nobody may understand, but it just pisses me off the way that they're manipulating everybody. Oh, fucking Jerry.
It's easy for me, who lives in the suburbs, to think that no one smokes anymore. We look around, I don't see anyone smoking. We're at historic low numbers. But the fact is, many groups have been left behind by the progress we've made over the last several decades. Cigarette smoking remains highest among LGBTQ adults, people with disabilities or limitations, American Indians and Alaska Natives, and people with mental health conditions or substance use disorders.
Now, are we allowed to say American Indians?
I don't know. Am I allowed to say that he's an out-of-touch piece of shit?
Well, but this is the one time he actually said something, or whoever wrote his speeches for him or whatever actually touched on some truth.
Right.
Do you know that 40% of the cigarettes consumed in this country are consumed by people with a mental illness or a substance use disorder diagnosis?
I knew that. Kevin knew that.
Did you know that Jerry didn't even know until someone wrote a report for him that it takes 10 years off your life?
Yes.
Among other things.
So this is
But one tried.
Pause. How did that happen?
We should have had Jerry on the show.
There we go. So the actual study is being done in the double-blind method. They have 69 participants given free Juul pods. Some have pods with the 5%, that's 50 milligrams, and others have the 1.5 nicotine, which is 15 milligrams. And the researchers don't know who has which. And the hypothesis is that the 5% or the 50 milligram nicotine Juul will quit smoking at a higher rate than the 1.5 or the non-users, the non-smokers, non-users, whatever. I would actually believe that hypothesis with what I already know.
Yeah.
Salvatore never tried to quit smoking before, so I asked him why he wanted to participate in this study.
Un esperimento.
An experiment. It turned out well for him. He liked using Juul. Perhaps he was receiving the 5% nicotine pods.
No, siccome sono scaduti 6 mesi, sto fumando sigarette normali.
Now, did you see him like triple inhale there?
Yep.
I couldn't do that.
Well for him. He liked using
I did it with cigarettes,
Perhaps
didn't
he was
you?
receiving the 5% nicotine pods.
4.
No, siccome sono scaduti 6 mesi, sto fumando sigarette normali, quelle del pacchetto. Che nel senso tu prendi la sigaretta, l'accendi ed è più comoda così.
So regular cigarettes are easier than using a pod.
To
I
her.
mean,
To her.
yeah. Well, okay.
Là le capsule. E poi ogni volta me ne dovevo fare, siccome mi piaceva tanto, addirittura dovevo fare che al giorno
Wow.
la caricavo
They should have gave her a couple batteries instead of just one.
Right.
circa 2 volte, con 2 addirittura le 3 capsule.
And she was using 3 pods a day?
Questa sigaretta elettronica è buona, non lo so più se la posso usare. E poi non mi sembra qualcuno che pensa che posso fare 3 sigarette con la cartuccia, questa qua con tutto coso coerente, una nuova che cado tante volte.
So these people are chain vaping. I mean, they're constant apparently, but so I mean, whether they got the 15 milligram or the 15 milligram, they should have been given a couple extra batteries.
Yes.
So they could charge one while they were using one.
Questo è il problema. E poi la devo caricare, non so quando, ma tante volte.
Neither Eliza nor Marco were wowed by their Juul experience. If the hypothesis is correct in positing that both ritual and nicotine level are crucial factors to helping people switch to vaping, we'd suspect they had trialed the low-level nicotine pods. We won't know for sure until the study concludes.
A finire con la sigaretta originale con questa.
So yeah, I mean, it could very well be what the director or the interviewer lady said is that she's guessing that the ones that are having the hardest time switching are the ones with the 15 milligram versus the 50 milligram.
And they're titrating, right? Is that the word?
Mi piace perché non
Titrating, yeah, is just using what your body needs.
non mi schiavizza, è un diversivo. Non lo prendo come un...
This guy says he likes Juul because the form factor. Remember when we, and I need to get another one if they still make these. Is the Joytech E, the E grip. You know, I like, and I liked the Enjoy disposable for the same exact reason.
Yeah.
Because I liked the form factor, and you know, it just feels like a cigarette.
And I want to kudos to Figgy Rooney, because the habit, the routine, this in your mouth every day, thousands of times a day, hundreds of thousands probably a year. He brought that to my brain a little bit. Yeah.
See, even now, this still
it's the wine glass. This
is the way to for me. If
right.
If I had access to a good supply of this, I could use this all the time. I just have to put the right liquid in it.
Yeah. And Fig on a show did, he got his calculator out and we, went through that. It's stunning. It's not all chemical. It's not.
Yeah. To tell you the truth, this is probably like liquid that's probably like 6 months old and still in here. But yeah, I mean that's satisfying. Even I mean, obviously, I like my billet box, but I mean, this is still. You could go out, have a drink. You know, this would be perfect for these types of people. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. I don't even remember what that is, but it's a tobacco.
Un vizio, lo prendo come un passatempo gestuale, per fare il gestuale, prendo qua in bocca o fra le dita. Un'abitudine, come si dice in inglese?
Non fumi più sigarette normali?
No, non ne fumo più, zero.
So he said he enjoyed the experience. It had the same ritual, the hand to mouth. We talk about that. And she asked him, does he smoke normal cigarettes?
No.
And he says, nope, none. He's completely switched.
Calma, rilassa, è meno dannosa, penso. Che ora io quest'inverno appenderò delle piante di vigna e ci avrò di passarmi il tempo e non posso... però avrò un minuto forse per fumare.
Yep.
C'ho 1000 piante di vigna.
Elenia would love her residents to smoke less because she worries for their health. She supports their use of e-cigarettes as a form of tobacco harm reduction.
When we will stop as protocol to stop to release the free pods, I think that majority of participants came back into smoking.
What's he saying there, Patrick?
When they stop giving them the free pods, when the study is over, he's afraid that all of them will return back to smoking.
Well, isn't that something that we've concerned okay, I'm just checking. I thought I was seeing things and hearing things for a second. Even in another language, they're stating the words harm reduction, and they're stating we'll go back to smoking.
If
because
not,
they don't have a
if
choice.
they don't have easy access to harm reduction tools, they will return back to.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
It's almost like we're as scientists, Kevin.
Fuck.
I'd
love to see it.
They relapse to smoking. I think that in the future, an important aspect of rehabilitation for these people is to offer clear nicotine for free.
Internationally, the public health community is divided over recommending the use of safer nicotine products as a health intervention for smokers.
Well, that's a heat not burn product, but if it works, right?
Is it? You see the smile? Did you see the smile on that human?
Yeah,
back that up about 2 frames.
What's that called? IQOS.
IQOS, yeah. Yes, Bernie. They have some McDonald's, you little shit.
Look at that grin.
Look at that face. Dude, that's what makes me happy. Right there is her being happy.
Yeah.
Her happiness is way more important. It's way more important than some experts on the fence fucking opinion. Fuck them. I'm glad that they're showing that too.
Intervention for smokers trying to quit. For instance, England's national health system does recommend treating tobacco addiction by switching to vaping, among other things. But here in the United States, doctors and health officials have not embraced the science, which shows that e-cigarettes are 95% safer than combusted cigarettes, and that they've helped millions abandon traditional smoking. I wonder, are they throwing the pasta out?
There's the pasta.
With the pasta water?
People with schizophrenia die not for schizophrenia, but for smoking. People with schizophrenia can improve their quality of life, and there is a solution. Grazie, thank you.
You see that other smile, Patrick?
Thank you, Marlena Marchetti and Helen Redmond.
Yes.
The link to this is actually in the show notes.
Well,
I know that we just watched it on this. We swiped their content, but please go to that link and give it a like. And I don't know. Do you follow? I guess you can follow them too. Yeah, if they're going to do. Well, no, I'm talking about on the YouTube video. We need to get and share the fuck out of it, please.
And I'm gonna touch Raj and Bruni. See, 50% are on the fence on whether or not people can be happy. That's the problem, because they're twits. You fuckers are happy, and we don't like that. That's unacceptable.
Well, and that's actually printed. That's actually printed on the back of one of our T-shirts in the T-shirt store. Is that
somebody else is happy? We'll have none of that bullshit.
Yes.
Look, Logan, you look like you're having a good time. Let's stop that. Right? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. We can't have any joy in your life.
Oh.
We can't have that.
No.
You can only enjoy what we tell you to enjoy.
It amazes me because when I said to my mother, who I didn't care for much, but I quit smoking. Yeah, I quit smoking. How'd you do that? Well, I started vaping. Well, you're still smoking. Well, you can kiss my ass. Right? So there you go. And Steve has a good point, I think. Maybe pouches and snus might have not worked for these folks. I don't know. That's the habitual muscle memory. I don't know. But if that's what you were referring to, Steve, I'm not sure.
Yeah, here it is. H.L. Mencken.
Yeah.
H.L. Mencken. Let's present.
Turn it around. There you go.
Let's present the T-shirt store. So we have the Vaping Scallywag shirt, and on the back of it, it says, Puritanism is the haunting fear that someone somewhere may be happy.
Oh, stop smiling, Patrick. I don't like that.
Yes, the most dangerous man to any government is the man who is able to think things out
for themselves
without regard to the prevailing superstitions and taboos. Almost inevitably, he comes to the conclusion that the government he lives under is dishonest, insane, and intolerable.
You know, I had a conversation with someone last week that said they were self-medicating with psilocybin. Is that what it is?
Psilocybin. We love psilocybin, Kevin.
So now, see, I personally have zero knowledge or reference for any of this except mushrooms. That's all I know. Now, yeah, that one. So when it was presented to me, the words were presented to me, it seemed as if I may have been beside myself, shocked or disapproving or whatever. I think his expectation of my reaction was going to be, well, I'm using the psilocybin stuff, you know. And he tried to justify it. And I said, you know, I wouldn't have known about this had I not doing what I do. And on a show that I do on a podcast, shout out to ourselves, I learned of it a lot differently than I did before. I didn't know. And
it's not legal in very many places, actually.
He's in Texas. He's in Texas.
Well,
is it legal in Texas?
No, it's not legal in Texas.
And he told his doctor that he's doing it.
I believe that there's really only like 1 or 2 states where it's actually legal. We just covered psilocybin like a month ago.
Yeah.
And a state had just decriminalized psilocybin.
But
there is substantial evidence that shows that microdosing with psilocybin can actually brain reset and
Right.
And it
Didn't
works for
Charlie
a lot
tell
of
us
different
that?
things. Charlie brought it up. I did.
Okay.
There's a documentary on Netflix called Magic Mushrooms that is
Okay.
awesome.
Well, he told me that he had mentioned to his doctor that that was part of his own self-medication. And this is an actual conversation with a 33-year-old. And I said, you need to keep this doctor, because the doctor said, good. That's what I want you to do. If it's helping you and working, that's what you need to do. And it kind of took me by surprise that his doctor did say that. So I was very supportive and grateful that he would A, tell me, and B, have somebody that's a professional not saying the words, well, we don't know enough about that yet.
We don't want to, demonize and stigmatize you.
Fuck. For
whatever works for you, my friend. Remember, you meet them where they are, not where you want them to be.
Yeah.
Not
A great
where you think
example
they
of a
should
bad
be.
story. Yeah.
Definitely.
So sad.
All
and
right, Kevin,
these little
this
happy
one,
people, that's all.
This one is one of those things that I've mentioned, we've talked about on the show before. I don't believe that there's actually any way to work this out, to make this fact or not. How much nicotine is in a cigarette compared to a vape?
They got to up their game. They really do.
I mean, now I'm fairly, I will admit, I don't believe that there's an honest way to really tell.
So, all right, I will do my best very quickly for you. I vape approximately 100 milliliters of 18 milligram nicotine a month. I used to smoke, and that has replaced approximately 6-7 cartons of cigarettes. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
give or take.
I don't actually
know the math.
I've been vaping 12 pretty regularly.
You do the math. I don't like math.
I go through 2 of these a month, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying different flavors and I'm going from one to another, and I got a new flavor additive or flavor. This is walnut flavored. I have to figure out how I'm going to use this.
Yeah. And the thing that they do this with, Patrick, is the wording. How much is in it? How much it replaces. That's the wrong wording is purposely put there for you.
Well, there could be. So we already know that everybody has different receptors in their brain.
Yes, sir.
Different level. I mean, obviously there's THC receptors, there's nicotine receptors, but everybody has different amounts.
Yeah.
So some people are highly sensitive. They might have way more nicotine receptors in their brain than somebody else does. That's why some people can smoke a cigarette and never smoke again. And then other people can smoke a cigarette and go, oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the world. I must do this constantly.
That was me. I like this. This is good.
The amount of nicotine that's in the cigarette or in the vape doesn't matter, because bioavailability and how much your body absorbs, and everybody's different.
Titration.
Well, you need what you need. So whatever amount that makes you happy, is what you need.
This is an empty comparison. It really is.
Yeah.
Is it not?
So, but again, now if we're talking about cigarettes not consumed,
correct.
Then we might have a measuring stick that we can use. However,
I'm at 6 to 8 cartons a month less.
I was smoking some days 2 packs a day, some days a pack and 3/4 a day. Sometimes there were a couple left in the pack afterwards. But
it depends for
average
me on
about
how many...
2 packs a day.
Yeah,
and that means that I was going through about 5 cartons a month.
Yeah. And I was higher, and maybe I vape more than you. I don't know. I don't care. Who cares?
You vape 18 and regularly, and I vape 12 regularly. But other than that, I mean, many people are still unsure how e-cigarettes compare with smoking in terms of nicotine. We break it down.
Yeah, sure you do.
The emergence of e-cigarettes in the UK has caused no small amount of controversy. While it has been hailed as an effective tool to quit smoking by smokers, there have been repeated warnings over a swath of young people taking up vaping. But how vapes compare to smoking in terms of nicotine is still a mystery to some. It's a mystery to everybody because you'd have to. Everybody's brain chemistry is different.
There's no answer.
Yeah. But how vapes compare to smoking in terms of nicotine is still a mystery to some. Generally, a smoker absorbs between 1 milligram and 2 milligrams of nicotine from a single cigarette. Although there is between 8 milligrams and 20 milligrams of nicotine, only a fraction is actually inhaled, generally thought to be about a tenth. Various factors alter this: the strength of the filter, each individual person, how much is lost in the smoke. But this amount is a general rule of thumb. You know what the actual phrase rule of thumb comes from, Kevin?
I'm scared to ask. Was it a prison reference?
No, actually, in older society, not modern society, it was legal for a husband to beat his wife with a stick as long as the stick did not measure any bigger than the thickness of his thumb.
Like measuring a horse by hand, right?
There's your history lesson for today.
Be smaller. It had to be as the same size or smaller than your thumb.
Yes. So you had to measure the stick that you were going to beat your wife with before you started swinging with it, just to make sure that it was no bigger than your thumb, the circumference.
Never mind. I don't want to.
An e-cigarette, much like the regular variety, has differing levels of nicotine depending on the brand. The Tobacco Products Directive, which came into force in the UK in May of 2017, restricts vapes to 2 milliliters of e-liquid with a strength of 20 milligrams per milliliter or under in any single product. Night, Fig.
Good night, Figgy. Let that
Some
hair
of the
blow
most-
in the wind.
Well, I'm telling you, he might be going bald now, Kevin. You keep bringing up his hair. That might be a triggering thing to him.
You know, with his son so tall, the shadow that he's projecting.
Now his son can stand taller than him and see the shiny glowing spot on the back. Some of the most popular vapes on the market are advertised as coming in nicotine strengths of 0, 10, and 20 milligram per milliliter. So a 2 milliliter vape typically contains 0, 20, or 40 milligrams of nicotine and allows between 600 and 800 puffs. A 20 milligram per milliliter vape with 40 milligrams of nicotine is therefore the equivalent of smoking 1 or 2 packs of 20 cigarettes. See what they're doing there, Kev?
I see it.
We see it.
But
when a vape is illegal, it may contain a lot more e-liquid, and the strength per milliliter could be far higher than allowed. This means
we can't have that.
It offers thousands of puffs and is the equivalent of hundreds of cigarettes. It is generally recommended that someone who smokes Marlboro Red or other regular straight cigarettes, which give 1.2 milligrams of nicotine or 24 milligrams per 20 pack, would select a vape that offers 20 milligrams of nicotine. Ultralight cigarettes such as Silk Cut contain approximately 0.4 milligrams of nicotine in each cigarette or 8 milligrams of nicotine per pack, a quarter of that of a vape.
It's not the nicotine.
So, yeah, it seriously is not the nicotine.
It's sad that
but
the focus is the nicotine.
But they are focusing on the volume, the total volume in a bottle. So that's very disingenuous.
See, I don't. So, Addie, for an example, Addie can tell me in the chat that he would consume 6 packs a year or 600 packs a month. I don't care. And then he can say, I now vape.
Keep talking for a second.
Now I vape 400 gallons of vape juice a week. And I would say, well, you replaced 600 packs of cigarettes with 400 gallons of vape or whatever I just said. I don't know. And I don't think it should matter to anybody what the nicotine strength is. The nicotine strength is his level that he is preferring. Now, if he's doing 400 gallons, maybe if he upped his nicotine approximately, if you up your nicotine level, maybe you would do 300 gallons. My wife does now 0 nicotine, which I'm not fond of because of her Alzheimer's. However, she's chain vaping all day long with or without the nicotine, and she replaced about a pack a day with her 3 milligram, and that replaced her cigarette consumption. So I don't understand the I don't know enough and we don't know enough and all the other stuff. So you're at 1.5. And what was Mallory? I don't know, Mallory. I don't.
25 mils a day, but I don't know what his. Oh, he's at 1.5. Ooh. That
And
would
you're
never work for
higher.
me.
When we hit 2014-15, I did a blog with the survey. Alan made a very good analysis that the higher strength, your volts, watts, and crazy fire stuff, you drop your nicotine down, but you were consuming more, which also Dr. Farsalinos did cover, by the way. You're consuming more liquid with lower nicotine.
And if you're consuming more e-liquid, then you're also consuming more of any of the harmful things that are in vaping.
That possibly can, right?
Yes. So,
can you augment with a patch? You sure can.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. You should slap a patch on your wife when she's not looking.
Yes, you can, and I've considered that, and we've discussed it.
Well, Richard talked about that when he was on our show, that he does indeed augment his vaping with nicotine patches and nicotine pouches. Yeah. So
whether she's going to know it or not,
he consumes a buttload of nicotine if you add everything that he's doing, but it works for him and it evens him out. And he said that his doctor is supportive and that he's British. So,
and why is it supportive? Why is it that he should be concerned about, 17 experts around the world arguing differently? I don't understand that. Who the fuck are they to tell him what the fuck to do? Fuck them. That's the way I see it.
But yeah, I mean, because he does have some severe diagnoses. Like he was candid on the show about everything that's wrong with him. So not wrong with him, but what he's living with.
The best show.
Yes, that is award-winning show right there.
It is.
Even though I had to fix it because Skip's audio didn't work for a long time, and we had to fix it. But that's okay.
Yeah.
So here, Kev, let me show you this.
Stop! Be careful. I'm in a good mood.
You'll get a kick out of this, I'm sure.
Make me flap my gums.
Cigarette sales continue to climb in the United States. So does their threat to kids and teens. A recent report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows vape sales going up by almost 50% between 2020 and 2022. News 10's Riley Connell here in studio now to tell us what parents can do to get between their kids and nicotine. Riley?
David, not only have vape sales increased, the CDC report says so have the variety of e-cigarettes. And
so vaping sales have gone up, but cigarette sales have gone down.
So you're saying that quitting smoking has increased by 50% in the past 3 years, Patrick? Is that what you're telling me? That's what I'm hearing.
When they slap a percentage, when they say, "Oh, it's gone up 50%," well, okay, in the entire country, I'm just going to make up some numbers, but say
that's what they do.
Say in the entire country, 1,000 kids were vaping, and then the next year or 2 years later, 2,000 kids were vaping. That's, I mean, obviously it's higher than that, but I'm just saying, for example, when they're saying that it went up 50%,
there's more juvenile delinquents now.
We had 4 kids vaping, and now we have 6. That's 50% increase, Kevin.
We don't know how we get it. How do they get these?
Their flavors, which attract kids and teens to the product. State police and
okay, now there's all right. I'm going to go back. All right, did flavors just come on the market in 2020?
Well, now it's the non-nicotine.
David, not only have vape sales increased, the CDC report says so have the variety of e-cigarettes and their flavors, which attract.
No. Now. Yeah, 2020 to 2022. The number of flavors on the market are we had just as many flavors in 2018 and 2019 that we had in 2020. I mean, flavors were there. Flavors were around. Now, obviously, there's more disposable products on the market because we didn't have disposable products until Juul came out, and then all the bars decided, well, if Juul's popular, let's do a closed system like Juul. Yeah. Well, actually, Juul's not even a closed system; it's pods. But you get my drift. But the number of flavors on the market, that we had all the same flavors.
Yeah, there may be 1 or 2 new ones off and on, but that's about it.
Well, I mean, obviously there was plenty of products that were introduced after 8816. Don't get me wrong, but we had strawberry shortcake and cotton candy, and all of those products were available before, for sure.
Long before.
Attract kids and teens to the product. State police and parent advocates say intervention is key in stopping the vaping epidemic in its tracks.
Their fruity flavor,
the vaping epidemic, Kevin,
and high concentration of nicotine keeps kids and
high concentration
teens coming back for more. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says e-cigarette sales are on the rise, and families need to stay vigilant.
This happens with high school students.
There's your favorite woman, Kevin.
Oh,
it's Meredith. If you want, I'll play the video of her son saying, kids are going to do what kids are going to do. I have it. I have evidence.
Oh, was it her son? I forget.
That was her son.
Juvenile delinquent.
Caleb.
This happens with middle school students, and we often hear reports it's happening with late elementary school students, which is such a horrifying thought.
Michigan State Police have found that young smokers today are getting their products by walking into a vape shop themselves or sending someone else to do it for them.
Maybe some of the stores could be they're not enforcing that rule, not checking IDs, or they have friends or family members that are 21.
Now, if a vape shop is selling to a kid, slap the fuck out of them.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. But there is no possible way, there is no law that's going to stop some stranger off the street coming in and buying for a kid. And when the salesperson turns and the guy walks out the door and he hands it to that to somebody else, the vape shop can't be held responsible for that, because if they carded the guy, they did their job.
He did it legally.
Buying those for them and then giving them to him.
Advocacy groups like Parents Against Vaping hear from families struggling with e-cigarette addiction every day. When parents reach out for guidance, co-founder Meredith Berkman tells them to start with conversation, not interrogation.
Instead of saying, are you doing this, or are your friends doing this? Say, I understand that these new figures just came out and this is exploding. When you go to a party, or when you're in school, or when you're in the school bathroom, do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel lots of kids are vaping? And if the answer is yes, how does that make you feel?
Though many kids feel like vapes are safe.
That battery is dead, by the way.
Stick to the booze, you little shits.
It's flashing red. It's time to recharge that one.
Safer than cigarettes. Michigan State Police say giving into the peer pressure could still cost them their lives.
Parents.
What?
I gotta go
What?
back here. What?
What?
Let's do this again here.
Safer than cigarettes. Michigan State Police say giving into the peer pressure could still cost them their lives.
Parents Against Vaping are taking action, trying to get the Food and Drug Administration to stop the export of dangerous vaping products.
The import, you stupid cow. I'm sorry.
I should mute myself. I just should.
I didn't mean to call her a stupid cow.
There's so much sadness in the. What is today? 23rd.
Kevin, I got it. I got to go to church. I feel bad for what I just said. Here, let's get some Jesus.
Ahead of you, I believe that God created you, that we should respect our bodies, and that God has a purpose for your life, that he saved you through Jesus Christ. And I want you to use your life to glorify and live for him. I don't want you to waste it vaping it away in order to attain a status that's not even real. So I want you to ask yourself, if you're watching this video, why do I vape? And is it worth the cardiovascular risks, the health risks, the lung disease, all of that? Is it worth it? I also want you to ask, what is the purpose of my life? And I want you to think about that. You have your whole life ahead of you.
You prick.
Jesus does not want us to vape.
Well, neither did my mother. So there you go. Did you ever see the Vaping Jesus?
Yes. I have met him a few times.
Oh, you've met him? I never knew who that was, and I don't need to. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yes.
Exactly, Bruni. Spontaneous combustion. That's all I can think of. Where'd Kev go? I don't know. A little smoke back there, though. Oh, my God.
Jesus does not want us to vape. We are all sinners.
Well,
we're going to burn in the lake of fire.
Can you imagine?
And I'm a pretty. I got a ring on my finger right now. Alpha and Omega. This is, I'm not unreligious, and I saw that, and I was like, Kevin is gonna love that video. Yes, Vaping Jesus did show up to a hearing in California in his outfit.
He was in his garb.
There is video on YouTube of that, I am sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Just whatever it is that I remember seeing was pretty funny. Something about Stan, if I recall correctly. I don't know.
Here, Kev, this is a warning to all of you all of you beautiful young ladies. When you go out for a night on the town.
If you don't vape, this will be something, as for you and I this morning, Ben, a bit of a world that we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
With festival season underway, there are concerns around spike.
Now, I have to pause it for a second.
Did she? So she doesn't know anything about it?
Music festivals are going to start in the UK.
After a concert goer collapsed when she used a vape offered to her by a stranger. The spiking thing we know about, we've heard about, we've reported on. The vape spiking, I have to say, is new to me.
It's a first for us. Chloe Hamilton was attending the Isle of Wight
Somebody gave her a vape roofie
festival with her partner and brother last weekend when she lost consciousness and ended up having a seizure. She joins us now alongside Love Island's Sharon Gafka, who campaigned.
Well, the girl on the right, Kevin.
Stop it.
Her drink was spiked 3 years ago. We also have Dr. Amir from home up there in Bradford this morning. Good to see you, Dr. Amir. We'll come to you in just a moment if we may.
Now that cuckoo clock is really getting my attention.
So, Chloe, as Ranvi was saying, this seems a very strange thing that young people or people that vape are quite comfortable sharing each other's vapes. It's not an unusual.
Not me. I am not.
Not
I'm
me.
not. I'm not taking a toke off of somebody. I did that one time at an event, and Julie Wassner tried to kill me with like 72 milligram nicotine. Mm-mm.
I don't even trust my wife. Nope, not touching it.
Usual thing to do, though.
Yep.
Can you just explain why?
There's this culture of sharing vapes. Try this flavour, for example, and
So I guess it's a little bit like, sorry, I'm trying to. It's about if everyone orders around a cocktail, you kind of go, well, that looks nice. Let me try a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
It's slightly different because you've only got one place that you're going to inhale it from.
No, because alcohol actually kills germs, so it's okay. I mean, it's not preferable. I would not like to, be
Well, except for the roofie part.
passing drinks around. Yeah, Fig is well aware of the prolific nature of my drinking, and
But it's the sharing of the flavour of it is what makes that a very communal,
I mean, the
common thing
vast
to do.
majority of vapes are fruity flavours, so it's try this, try that.
Okay. So talk us through what happened to you and how quickly you realised something had gone very wrong.
So myself, my partner, brother and his girlfriend went to the festival. Got there about 2 o'clock.
oh, look at that!
It took a turn for a worse when I took a vape, a puff of a vape from a stranger. I felt instantly unwell. It was almost like the world went into slow motion.
Candy little girl.
Slow motion.
Pins and needles throughout my entire body. I collapsed to the floor, and within a minute, I was unconscious, had a seizure, vomiting, incontinent. My entire body shut down. I don't have any history of seizures or anything like this before, and it was the scariest thing I've ever been through. I thought I was going to die, and
I don't think it was the vape. I think it was probably the acid that she dropped at the music festival.
Mallory has great points. Hydrate, people.
I mean, when I've been at some certain shows, things get passed around.
No,
just saying, little sugar cube going on.
my family that were around me thought I was as well.
And had you heard of vape spiking
Never.
before?
For example, if someone offers you a drink in a club or a festival, you'd immediately say no.
You also don't leave your drink unattended.
Exactly.
I've covered that in 20 years. You remembered you used to go around with those little tests to see.
Yeah.
Fig is right, because Fig has done the music scene before too. He's one of those Burning Man alumni, and it sounds like DMT to me. That is possible.
In bars, we did all of that, but vaping, even for you as a vapor, you didn't know about vape spiking.
I mean, I don't vape, I have in the past, but I've never heard of vape spiking. After doing my research after the incident, you can virtually put any illicit drug into a vape. And
you cannot.
Well, this panel says they can.
She's read on the internet that you can put anything in. We know for a fact that certain things do not mix well in water at all in our water-based vapes. We know for a fact that you can't do that, that all the different scaremongering stories about, what's the current trending scary monster drug, Kevin?
Fentanyl?
Not Xanax.
Fentanyl?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Can't do it. Doesn't work. It's a lie.
And unfortunately, it can have fatal effects.
And do you know why you were spiked? What was the purpose of it? What
It's
was
so
the
hard to know the motive. You
person
get
intending?
Spiking, the motives can be sexual, they can be robbery, it can be a joke, it can be anything. You just don't know. I was lucky that it was broad daylight, there was many people around me, and nothing further happened from the incident.
No, there's an investigation going on, so we can't go too much into what's happening. But Sharon, it seems extraordinary that someone was so brazen about passing on this vape in such public area, no concern about being seen doing it necessarily, or the impact that was going to have. Had you had much experience? I know you're campaigning for this on vape spiking.
I actually hadn't heard of any specific incidences. Obviously, like Chloe said, she did.
What is Love Island? Sharon Gafka is a former Love Islander and spiking campaigner.
Must be somewhere she's from.
She must be a celebrity.
I don't know.
A bit of research, and when I saw Chloe's story on Facebook, I did a bit of research myself, and I think that there were a couple of cases from women going on dates. I think there was one particular case where a woman had taken a vape from a guy she was on a date with, that she met on a dating app, and had unfortunately died as a result of taking that vape.
What?
So, Patrick,
what? No, if this happened, if this had happened, I would know about it because. My God, I spend hours scrounging the internet for the most salacious stories about vaping as possible to show you people. And God, if there was a story about somebody slipping a woman a vaping Mickey and her dying, I would know about it.
I think we would.
You know, when I met with the safeguarding minister last year, I mentioned to her that if we do not take spiking as a whole seriously, at the moment, like when I first came out, we were hearing cases of needle spiking. I said if we don't put a stop to it and figure out what the motive is and where people are getting these drugs, it will escalate. And now we're going to start hearing more instances of vape spiking, considering how often we see people sharing vapes, how common it is at festivals, at clubs.
And the other thing that they haven't considered is it may not have been the actual vape that was spiked, but they could have put something on the mouthpiece of the vape.
Good point.
Like a contact, something that would have.
Patrick, I'm gonna quote Carlin. She looks intelligent. She's full of shit. Now, she looks intelligent, not this idiot, the other idiot. She looks intelligent. But you got to point out which idiot I'm talking about. The other one, the one that actually, almost died.
The curly-haired one.
Yeah. Well, if you're at a concert and a stranger's tapping you on the shoulder, other than maybe a little, boogie woogie dance, wouldn't you question what they're going to offer you ever?
I mean, obviously, if I'm at a show and somebody offers me some black tar heroin, I might,
You might question that. If I was behind you and I said,
don't
"Hey,
mind
Patrick,
if I do.
Here, try this," wouldn't you take pause for a second? If you were a sober, level-headed person, you'd go, "Yeah, no thanks." But no, instead, frivolity.
So Addie says that Love Island is an American dating reality show.
It is.
I'm not surprised that Addie knows this.
I didn't know this.
He does seem to me the dating reality show kind of watcher to me.
Parties and things like that, to see any kind of vape at all.
Can you just remind us what happened to you? Because you obviously work, is it Thames Valley Police now you've been working with for quite a while, talking about spiking and so on?
Yeah, so I've had I got spiked, you mentioned 3 years ago from a drink in a restaurant. My own drink had been tampered with a drug. I believe the motive behind the person that spiked me was sexual. Working with the government and Thames Valley Police over the last couple of years, I found a variety of different motives depending on the relationship between the perpetrator and the victim. From my instances with young women in particular, it would have been a sexual motive from a stranger or someone they're on a date with. With young men, it would either be for robbery or if they're not into recreational drugs, that their friends, particularly in initiations at university, would have a recreational drug put in their drink or type of Viagra.
Can I just ask a question of you, Chloe? And I hope you don't mind me asking. Is that
Viagra? They have vaping Viagra? What?
Oh. Now we know why Ed's never on anymore. Goodness.
Now I'm kind of like,
There's hope for Ed yet. Figure if I said his name, he'd come in. Why do you?
No, he's watching on Twitter though. He's gonna. If I go to Twitter, I bet you he'll say, "I'm here, damn it! Quit talking about me."
I don't know that I've ever seen. For instance, let's say Mallory. But if Mallory were in front of me at a concert and I said, "Hey, ma'am, would you like to hit my vape?" she'd probably kill me. And then I'd be on the news for having my ass beat, right? So,
by a woman.
I don't understand. I don't, you know, in the 60s, maybe when Ed was, you know, in his 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s. But no. I wouldn't hit any of your vapes. None of you. Not a damn one of you. Well, maybe except True. Because I trust you. No.
Okay, let's go.
Did you
So we're
find him?
still trying to get to grips with this idea. You know, if you're a parent of somebody who vapes, or you are vaping yourself, if somebody offered you a drink, if that person had offered you a drink and he was a complete stranger, would you have drunk from their straw?
Absolutely
No.
not.
And if they'd offered you a cigarette,
what?
Would you have maybe taken a puff on their cigarette?
She's
if
thinking
it was
about
a
it.
complete stranger.
Probably
She's
not.
thinking
So
about
there's
it.
something specific about the vaping culture that allows it to seem like you can put all your barriers down. Is that
isn't.
right?
Absolutely.
In
I
terms
let
of
my guard
sharing
down.
with strangers.
No, there isn't.
We did an informal poll in the chat room. There were quite a few people in the chat room that said, "There's no fucking way I would swap spit." Mallory said, "Swap spit with somebody." No, I'm sorry. I'm not putting my mouth where your mouth was just there. You know. Just
You remember
not
the
happening.
temporary rubbers, for lack of a better term, they would put on the little tasting places at shops?
Well, they had the little condoms, yeah. That's
Condoms, whatever they are. And even that made me a little query. It just no.
No, I normally knew when I go to a vape shop, I normally know what I'm going in there for.
Right. And why would you?
And I don't, you know, when you could flavor sample, I never really did.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew what I wanted when I walked in the door, so I knew what I was asking for.
But even disposable tips, you're still no. Or rubbers, not the tips, the rubbers.
Just a tip.
I can't. No. Your mindset of taking someone else's something from their hands to your hands and then your mouth in any day and age, not even from the bad stuff in the past few years, just to me is absolutely not.
Oh no, I'm already a germaphobe. I won't hug people. I'm not going to fucking put my mouth on somebody else's
or
device.
a spoon. You can, no, don't fucking. You can eat from my plate with your fork. Now that I don't mind Janice doing, but we're not going to swap spit like somebody said. No.
Now I'm sure you'll swap. You'll swap. You know, you'll put your mouth on your wife's
other than my wife, up to and including my grandson. He sneezes in my face enough. That's plenty.
Well, he's a little germ box. I mean,
well, of
come
course
on.
he is.
He's a child. They're cootie magnets.
He is a cootie magnet. He's a little bundle of fun.
One kid in the third grade gets a cold. They're all got runny noses and coughing and sneezing all over the place.
Yeah,
particularly.
And I think that's where the awareness needs to come from. With a drink, you know, you shouldn't take it off a stranger because we're aware of the drink spiking. Vape spiking is known of, but not well enough. So
it's very brave of you to talk about it, and I think many people will be
especially as we're
grateful.
hitting. You're so brave. You have to be on national TV. You're so brave.
You know, Glastonbury's this weekend. We're hitting the festival season.
Her social media's probably blew up. She's probably got like another 100,000 followers off of this.
What kind of flavors you like, honey?
They showed her passed out drunk at a music festival with her ass in the air.
Oh my God!
She and then the vacuous hot chick beside her that's a reality TV star is just using this as a way to get her face out in their world. She's got to have some reason to be on TV.
Let's talk to Dr. Amir. I mean, Amir, you've just heard the girls talking really eloquently about what they've been through and terrifyingly as well. It's sort of on the increase, isn't it? But vape spiking, have you had any understanding of cases like that?
No, you haven't.
Morning. So when I used to work in A&E, we used to see people coming in who had been spiked, but it was generally with drinks and food rather than vapes. I haven't come across an incident with vapes being spiked, but it's important to know that it is on the rise. It's a worrying trend.
It is on the rise. It's a worrying trend.
I've never seen it, but it's on the rise.
Never happened, but okay, it's on the rise.
Oh my fucking!
And spiking is anything really that injects or puts a drug or.
So they don't want to use the same term we use, so they're using spiking instead of roofing or what slipping them a Mickey.
Alcohol into someone without their consent. So that could be, it could be anything from GHB to Rohypnol, LSD, ecstasy, ketamine. All of these are commonly used drugs.
Ketamine is very fun. I'm just going to say it.
Drugs that don't have taste or smell. And so it's important that people are aware and we raise the profile of vape spiking.
And can I just ask, when you hear of Chloe's immediate bodily reaction, which was, it felt like a catastrophic failure of everything in your body.
Yeah.
Is that suddenness the common factor, that it can happen? It happens immediately. And can you ascertain from what you heard what kind of drug it might have been that would cause that immediate sort of full shutdown? Full shutdown.
Yeah, a lot of those drugs can work within minutes, anything within a couple of minutes to 30 minutes. Ketamine in particular works particularly quickly, and the symptoms can vary between kind of feeling sickness and nausea, loss of consciousness, confusion, sleepiness. But Chloe had a very severe reaction. And that's the problem, really. When you're putting these illicit drugs into things, there's no dosage. We don't know how much has gone into it, how much Chloe inhaled there. And that is the danger. People are just putting these drugs into drinks, into vapes, injections, without thinking about how much they're putting in and what effect that's going to have.
I think
let's not admit to the fact that none of these things can be delivered in the way that they're claiming that they're it's not possible. Period.
The other danger, of course,
if I were to crush a pill and put it in my e-liquid and vape it, none of that is going to vaporize. It's not going to work. That is not the way a pill is designed. If it's an oil-based solution and you put it in an e-liquid, not going to be delivered the way that they think that they're claiming that it can be delivered. These people don't have any idea what they're talking about. And that's why this guy says, I've never heard of it, but it's on the rise.
As both of you will know, is that at a festival, in that sort of environment, people do overdo it, and they may have taken recreational drugs of their own volition and may end up, or they may be drinking too much.
Like the girl in the green dress or the green shirt. Yep.
And I think maybe one of the experiences, and Dr. Amir is listening, is that from a medical professional's point of view, you might be very quick to, oh, well, it's just another drunk person at a thing, that's okay. We'll deal with you. In a kind of, are you training to be a paramedic as well? Is that right? So, I think that's interesting from your point of view.
It is.
As a paramedic, you will see this in your career.
I think, and similar to Sharon, I wasn't believed. My family, I don't remember, but my family around me said a lot of people that, security that were there just seemed to have the view that I was just another drunk person. But there are different, the presentation can be similar to when you are intoxicated, but it's that next step. I was so unwell.
And it's so much more dangerous. Let's just, Amir, just before we let you go, there will be concerned parents, there'll be concerned festival goers. My son Jack's on his GCSEs, my son Sam's doing his A-levels and finishes today. They are very excited about their festival experience this summer.
You're less excited,
Well, I'm concerned. I want to keep them safe. I want them to have a great time. I want to keep them safe. Is there things people can do if they feel like they have been?
Hydrate. As for you and I this morning, Ben.
Hydrate.
Just say no.
Don't do drugs.
Just say no. Stop it.
My son Jack's on his GCSEs. My son Sam's doing his A-levels and finishes today. They are very excited about their festival experience this summer.
You're less excited.
I'm concerned. I want to keep them safe. I want them to have a great time. I want to keep them safe. Is there things people can do if they feel like they have been spiked?
Yeah, if you feel like you have been spiked, stay with someone close that you know and trust. Tell someone responsible, whether that's a bar.
As you're passing out, say, don't rape me.
a doorman or a manager, ring 999 or 101. Don't be tempted to go off on your own. And if you think you've been sexually assaulted, either tell the police, or if you feel you can't do that, you can tell the Rape Crisis Charity. They are really good at providing support in these situations.
So I thought you would like that one, Kevin.
I will mimic Mallory verbatim. This girl is so stupid.
No, but she's on national TV in the UK now, Kevin. She's a minor celebrity. She's, like I said, she probably got another 100,000 followers on her social medias.
Well, there's ulterior motive, I guess. I don't know.
Instead of vaping, try tripping to get off the stinkies. So, yes, we already know that psilocybin does have real risk, but these are squarely mitigated in controlled settings through screening, preparation, monitoring, and follow-up care. We also know that NRT is most successful at 7% when you have that follow-up care and counseling. But like I said, Charlie was even on the show talking about microdosing and resetting the brain and being able to remove addiction.
I am grateful for Charlie being on here and telling me that, and me being able to, not fluently, but have a discussion last week because of that show, and Fig and you, because I didn't know what that was. So I want to share a screen with the Victor share screen.
You want to use the Victor share screen?
I do. You're
allowed to
do what I
use the
can
Victor
here.
share screen
because Victor is not followed by a whole lot of people, and he should be followed by everybody, and then all their friends as well. I got to figure out how to make this bigger before I.
Do you know what you're doing?
Do it. No.
Are you sure?
I want to make it bigger so you don't bitch.
Oh, I'm gonna bitch anyway. I mean,
that's right. Hold on, let me find the right button here.
What would you think? Why would you think that I wouldn't bitch?
Victor share screen. Does it say stop share? There. Now, he did tag me the other day, and well, you can't see my arrow. I got 8. It's got 8 likes, 3 retweets. He needs 300. I've known. I've known. There
You've known. So hey. Well, go ahead and finish your sentence.
For those who may not be using the term clean nicotine, you should start using this term. I like it, since vape is using clean nicotine, which was discussed earlier, with no other combustible tobacco chemicals. E-liquid is a clean nicotine product, and that's what I wanted to show everybody tonight. So there you go.
So from now on, Kevin, we're gonna do a new thing. We were gifted a sum of money, Kevin, so that we can continue to do what we do. So you won't hear me bitching and moaning about money because the bills are paid again
for a couple of weeks. Yeah, okay.
So we're good to go. But
thank
from
you
this
to
point
whoever that
forward, from this point forward, we're going to have not only the Victor share screen, but we're going to have the Vape Cats with a Z at the end. Vape Cats tweet of the week.
Ooh.
So every week
I
we
like
need to
tweet of the
find
week.
Our favorite tweet of the week. I'm going to create a graphic for that, and it will be the Vape Cats tweet of the week.
I tried doing that so long ago, and nobody gave a shit.
Because our friends at a website that starts with 3 W's and ends with .com, Vape Cats with a Z, have there are replay friends every week. They leave comments on the replays. They send us a sum of money to pay for the hosting fees and stuff. We're still not going back to the podcast. I think that's done. but
right.
we're good to go. We're good to go now. So I guess we have to be here for at least another year.
Can we?
Unless something tragic happens,
don't say that.
You know, a nuclear war happens and we no longer have Wi-Fi.
Maybe your wife will give you a roofie in your vape or something. Hey,
well, she doesn't have to do that. I have a cancer test next week.
I know it's your show. I know it is your show.
It is our show.
Are we going to do one tweet a week, or should we both submit a tweet of the week?
Well, we should pick one, and the two of us will have to choose it.
Well, I don't like you, and you don't like me, so how could we ever come?
But if the tweet is awesome,
if it stands on its own, okay, all right. Can we have a runner-up?
We have to. Well, we might have 5 if we agree that there's 5 equally awesome tweets this week. Then we would have the Vape Cats tweets of the week.
We need like an intro video and everything for this, you know. This is going to be a real segment.
I'm going to have to create some Vape Cats graphics for this.
Yeah.
But here I'll show a Mark and Bernie tweet for the first submission. This is because they're always awesome. But a non-customer came in to ask about the parking out front. Got on to vaping, and after a bit of education, she asked if I would accompany her to lunch and speak to the lady she was dining with. In the end, she just took my card to pass to a friend, and she needs to quit because of heart disease.
Right there.
You know, that is an amazing thing that our friend Mark does. He's a hero, whether he wants to be there or not. Wow. Yes, Addie. So yes,
I've offered. Good.
What? Well, he's over here guessing that it was Peggy.
Oh, Peg.
Yes, and
which my grandmother.
She wrote us a lovely letter, and she did help us out last year as well. But she at that time said make it anonymous, but this time she said no, you can talk about it. It's okay. Good. So yes. And the wonderful thing, I can't show it on screen because we get in trouble. But like I said, the 3 W's, the World Wide Web, Vape Cats with a Z.com, they have a website.
.com.
And they do offer purchasing online and pickup and
equipment,
other things, other ways to get it to you. How about that? Yeah. Okay.
So my grandmother's name was Margaret, but she went by Piggy.
That's why I'm not putting any embedded advertisements on my stream. I did not show the link, which is right. I didn't show the website, which is there, but
somewhere up there, yeah. You sneaky little kitty cats.
And I didn't show. I didn't show an address or type it on screen or anything. But the Vape Cats tweet of the week will be a new thing. Kevin and I will be scouring the Twitter sphere for the awesomest tweets.
So do your best.
And you may be highlighted in future broadcasts.
So Mark, I had 2014-15. I'd have to figure out what I even said to. There's OSU, and then there's the other one I forget. Ohio State University and Ohio State or some shit. Anyway, so I had to private message my friend in Columbus to ask if this person was friend or foe in this section of the Ohio University or Ohio State, whichever. And there was no opinion. And then I went on, but I offered, and I've offered multiple times, close and far, all through the state of Ohio, to do exactly what Mark has been asked to do, actually. I'm not a public speaker specifically per se, but I would gladly entertain a Q&A still to this day, anywhere in the state of Ohio. It doesn't matter. And who is it for? I don't care. It doesn't matter. And I don't care if you're wearing white coats or you're wearing T-shirts. I don't care. So Yeah,
See,
I love
I
that
even
Mark
found.
was asked.
I even found a cat emoji to throw into the chat room.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
See, if I click on it now, there's a little kitty cat right there. Look, see?
We could do the here, kitty, kitty thing, right? It's not copywritten, is it?
I don't think so.
You can't use the meow, 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 meow thing, though. So
Meow, 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 meow. Oh, I can't do that? So,
I don't know.
So, guys and gals, I think we didn't get banished from the YouTube this week.
Woohoo! That's good.
So that's good.
Done
That's
good.
good to know. The YouTube did not banish our chuckleheadery. Our chuckleheadigans, Shannonagans.
That's right.
And we survived another week. I'm quite pleased that we did not die.
Even
again.
if they don't like it.
Yep. So have you ever? I know that you're old. Have you ever had to do one of these Colo Guard tests, Kevin?
No.
So
have you?
At your age, you're supposed to be doing these tests, Kevin.
Well, what I'm told I'm supposed to do and what I'm going to do may or may not be two different things. Go ahead.
You know, you could be slowly dying of colorectal cancer, which is a very serious thing.
You are correct.
So, I mean, I'm going to be quite graphic here because this is funny.
Oh boy,
so
here we go.
They send you a box in the mail, and you open the box, and there's instructions, and there's a bucket in the it's a bucket, an actual bucket, and you're supposed to put it in the basin of your toilet and drop a loaf in there, and then it comes with a little swabby thing that you're supposed to capture some of that on and put it in a vial, and then they send you a container full of chemicals that you're supposed to pour on top of the bucket, into the bucket on top of the deposit that you've just made in the bucket. You seal it and put it back in the box. It comes with the label, and you send it back to the lab. Yeah. Now, I feel sorry for the person in the lab that is in there opening these hundreds of boxes of poop every day. Like, that's their job, is to go in there and open the boxes and perform their tests.
A test, right?
I feel really awful about that. But I did this test, and they said, you need to go see this other doctor because there's something in the test that we need to look at. So I'm going to have the dreaded exam on the 3rd of July. So sadly, I'm ruined. My 4th of July will be ruined. Actually, no, I'll be done, but I will be starving because you have to. There's a certain prep that you have to do for the day before.
Yeah.
That you empty your entire stomach contents.
You gotta drink some goo.
This is not. I'm not looking forward. I'm not looking forward to to that. And then you're not allowed to eat any food the day before. You have to do this chemical cleansing situation.
Thank you, Addie.
Then your test doesn't occur until like noon the next day. So then you're going to be unconscious, and then you wake up. You're going to be starving. You've just been
violated.
Violated. Yes, that's the word.
Yeah.
And then you're they tell you, because I've had one before like 20 years ago, and the doctor, after I woke up, he says, you're probably not going to want to eat like a solid food. You need to take it slow. On the way home, I said, stop and get me a double Whopper and a large fry. Like, I was starving.
Oh, you're dumb.
I'm gonna cook T-bones. I'm gonna get ribeye steaks and stuff, and cook them right before I go take the test, so that when I come back, I have like an actual substantive food. But yes, this is one of the things that old people have to do, Kevin. So
yes,
as horrible as it is being violated in such a horrible way, we care about you, so we want you to get tested, Kevin.
Okay.
You need to get your butt cancer test. And all the other oldies in the chat room, they say that after 45, you should get it done every 2 years. So I know that Addie's old and Troop is old. I don't know how old Toasty Cheese is, but I think he's old. So all you guys go get tested because we want you to be around forever.
He's old. Everybody's old. Except the ladies. They're all 21.
No, all the ladies are just legal right now. They're 21.
Except for the cranky old broad. Except.
No, sir. The cranky old broad is not old. She can be the cranky young broad.
Not my Skip.
So Addie says that when they knocked him out, they didn't knock him completely out when he had his done.
Oh. Wow.
And Shadav in the Twitch chat room, she says she's old as fuck and she admits it. She's admitting it. So I didn't say that. I would never say that. That would be ungentlemanly of me. Ungentlemanly. So we're gonna say goodnight to everybody. I gotta re-wick this before I go to bed tonight so that it's already awesome and ready to go in the morning. Because the first thing in the morning, I don't want to be re-wicking my atomizer. But right. we love and appreciate each and every one of you. We love and appreciate Peggy and the people at Vape Cats for making it possible for us to exist for another little while at least, and Kevin for just putting up with my shit. So how do you want to say goodnight to all of our friends, Kevy?
It's an unsung thing I do. Just putting up with your ass.
Yeah.
That's probably enough for the week.
One of my favorite songs actually is a song called Unsung by a band called Helmet. It is a 90s awesome band. Helmet.
We've made a connection. That doesn't mean I like you.
Go get Helmet's greatest hits. It's awesome.
I want all of you to be happy doing what you do. I don't care what you do. If you're happy, do that. If that's what makes you happy, then go do that.
Do it.
And be. And everybody else can kiss your ass. That's what I want.
Yeah. So I want everybody, since Kevin brought up Unsung and I just thought of the band Helmet, as soon as we're done here, go to YouTube and type in Helmet Unsung.
Go down the rabbit hole.
And listen to the video. It's an awesome song. Love you. Have a good week. We'll see you in 7 days. Let's go out with some fun. Let's see. Yeah, well, I always close out with that one. So let's go. We'll do this one.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Locally, my clients are physicians, nurses, single moms, couples, multiple generations of families, seniors on fixed incomes, disabled, veterans, residents of assisted living facilities, and teachers at the local elementary, middle, and high schools. Most are dealing with serious issues other than their smoking habit, further degrading their quality of life and their ability to quit smoking. From 18 to 96 years old with an average age of over 40, nearly all referrals by other successful clients. Most have smoked for decades, the result of the 93% failure rate that they've been stuck with. They don't believe you and don't trust you with damn good reason. You will never reach these people. They know you don't care and they despise you for it. I greet them in a t-shirt, this one with Kevin Crowley on it. and blue jeans, and a nicotine molecule tattooed on my forearm.